All right, good morning. I guess now in the afternoon, it's our noon session of racing, Saturday, session number 3 for the 2022 Vision Grand Prix. We officially kick our program off here with our first event. We are set to go for the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. Into the qualifiers we go. All of the elite women in the event should make their way to the warm-up circle. We're going to get through this nice and quick. Our first rider up from Star Trek Racing is Stephanie Lawrence on deck. Danny Scoville, followed by Lucy Gilchrist, our first 3 riders to set a time today in the qualifiers. Once again, Lawrence already in position to start, and on deck, Scoville, followed by Gilchrist. All right, and off we go with our first rider in our session today. The event before you here is a qualifier for the sprint tournament. Sounds like for our elite women, we're taking 8 to advance out of this round. So top 8 speed at the line required to carry on into the sprint tournament today in the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. Our next event will be the Greg's Elite Men Kieran Heats. Those riders are going to be set to go after we conclude the 200 meters. We have 9 riders in our start list, looks like, here for the elite women. Only one not finding their way in today, so we'll also use these 200-meter times to seed the competitors. Finishing at the top, of course, gives you the advantage of having some more favorable matchups to work your way towards the final rounds. Bell's ringing for our Star Trek rider. Also of interest will be to track the overall sprint omnium for the women. Sounds like the matchup's close, as is the men's endurance omnium after last night's events concluded. I'll take a quick look at where those standings are here as we go through the 200 meter today. The quick read on the clock is a 12.74.
When people see us, they know. I feel so much for you that I don't know what to do. 'Cause someone was before you, and someone let me go. This time I must know for sure. 'Cause someone was before you, and someone let me go. But I just need to be sure. Some say love's not for the bitter ones. Some say love will only bring you down. Some say love can feel much better now, better now. But will you let me down?
The official time for Stephanie Lawrence was 12.737. Danny Scoville got the bell, and she's in her effort here. Just closing out on her lap. On the track is also Lucy Gilchrist of the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. Holly Simonson will come on track next for Red Truck Racing, followed by Emily Shelberg, Jessica Sawyer. Danny's official time is a 12.997. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Stephanie Lawrence, our first rider today in this qualifier, is at the top of this Omnium in the sprints for the women with 20 points so far. Just 1 point chasing is Hillary Luther. So a tight matchup for the sprint Omnium and overall competition over the weekend. Of course, the sprints today will play an important factor in sorting this one out. This is Lucy Gilchrist for the juniors. Lucy Gilchrist time coming in here at a 12.242. Something didn't get entered right there. Hold on. I'm like that. Hold on. They're still updating it again. The pre-official time. There we go. There we go. Solly Simonson coming across the line. The quick read is a 12.7. So another quick time might be the fastest time of the group. We're looking at Lucy's time. There might have been some errors there. They're updating it. We'll come back to it here shortly. Holly, the official time. The new fast time in the group so far, 12.702 for Simonson. 12.702. Emily Shelberg gets the bell. Jessica Sawyer coming on track next. Diane Snoblin and Annalise Ostrecht be ready to start. The last rider in the group is Lizanne Fox. And then we'll get into these Kierans. And that will handedly take the top spot now as we drop a half a second for Emily Shelberg's time of 12.215. Shelberg at a 12.215. Ringing the bell for Jessica Sawyer as Diane Snoblin comes on for the Burnaby Velodrome Club. Annalise Ostrecht followed by Lizanne Fox to finish out the event. Jessica Sawyer's time comes in and it's 13.481. And to go back to a previous called time, Lucy Gilchrist officially reads in at 14.242. 14.242 for Gilchrist. Sawyer, 13.481. Yes, happy Saturday. Thanks for tuning in on the live stream and watching some of the racing here. We are in the qualifiers for our sprints that will be going on throughout the day. The conclusion can be found during tonight's program. The 6 p.m. Saturday session will be the conclusion for the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. We're here just catching the early rounds, the setup for that. 8 riders will continue to advance through the tournament out of our 9 in the qualifier. That's Diane Snoblin getting the bell most recently. She's over in turn 4. Annalise for the shop racing should be coming on for her effort next. And the next rider that will queue up is Lizanne Fox. That will be our last competitor on deck following her. We've got the opening rounds of the Kieran for the Elite Men, the Greg's Elite Men Kieran Heats. Diane Snowblin's time, the previous official time I did not call out yet, is 12.488. That was for the rider just before Annalise, 12.488 for Snowblin. And Annalise coming in with a 13.062. Last rider in the group is Lizanne Fox for St. George. Cycling, she's got about a lap and a home straight to go. Trying to set themselves up as best they can into the tournament. Looks like I think we're going to have our 8 riders confirmed here, but now it's all about that seating position as well. So critical. The quick read is very fast there on the clock. It might be maybe the fastest time. It's going to be awfully close. I think it's going to sit in second overall. And Lizanne will be in a pretty good spot overall, as I think our best qualifying time is going to come from Emily Shelberg of a 12.215, and the official time for Lizanne Fox is knocking on the door, 12.272. Diane Snowblin ends up qualifying third at a 12.488. So the qualifiers have closed. There's your top 8 times will make it through into the tournament. Your fast time today in the qualifiers for the elite women, 12.215. Moving on to the Greg's Elite Men Kieran. We've got some exciting Kieran racing set up today. And we need to get through some heats to qualify the riders into those finals for tonight's program as well. So we're going to run these heats as listed on our start list today, where we have 3 heats. Top 2 advance to the semis round. Heat A is Carlberg, Kaiser, McClintock, Rackness, O'Mara, and Culp. Those will be our first riders that'll be up and ready to go. Heat B is Baker, Young, Boys, Hauk, Jameson, Sandoval. Heat C, Wright, Gonzalez, Kowalczyk, Swanstrom, and Deertons. Bring holders, please. And come to the podium. Let's find Heat A, get our draws done, and we'll get you out onto the track. The Greg's Elite Men Kieran first round of competition coming up. On deck will be the Greg's Masters Cat 3 Kieran heats. To clarify again, these riders have to find front 2 spots out of these rounds to qualify for the semifinals. Other riders will go to the rep round to get a second chance to move on. There will be a rep round for those that do not make top 2. In lane 6 on the outside, coefficient of speed, that's Andrew Carlberg. Next door to him for the Flying Gorilla Academy team, Guy McClintock in lane 5. For the Jerry Baker Juniors, that's Henry Kaiser, the Laser, in lane 4. Emmett Culp in lane 3 for Digital Commerce Bank. Next door, we've got Ben Rackness riding in that black and gray kit. And finally down the sprinters lane, Andrew O'Mara in the all black with the black helmet. Your 6 riders in Heat A all lined up to qualify in the Kieran for the semis. The rest will ride again in the rep. Heat B should be set to go next Just clearing our timing tape there on the back straight, so it looks like we're set to go. Everything's clear. And the Kieran bike's going to make their way around. One more lap on the warm-up circle, and we can get our first heat underway. And a very key moment here for all these riders. You got to qualify in the semis if you want to be in the competition. You do get a second chance, but nobody wants to ride that extra ride just to make it into the semi round. So very critical moment here. Still want to make sure you make it into that top two. Now to pick them now, the two at the back of this group would be some favorites to watch for sure. We saw Guy McClintock make a record effort yesterday as a group of three, breaking a Masters men team sprint record for the Velodrome. And number 25 of the Flying Gorillas was a participant in that effort. Number 12, of course, breaking his own personal best here at the track means he broke his own record. In the Flying 200 is feeling pretty quick this weekend, so that's a big factor in an event like the Kieran. Top speed will play a huge factor in these results. So certainly heavy hitters in the back end of this heat as they draw positions 5 and 6. They've got the long way to go, which gives the front half some advantages in terms of the way they can play the position game and the way they want to play out the attack. Their lane and their line they want to find. Kieran bike will be taking their exit on the back straight on this lap. Bell's ringing, one to go. Top two make it in. Acceleration start to come from the front as number 16 feeling that compulsion to move is O'Mara. Carlberg now makes the long move around and will control the race from the front, and now is going to gauge the effort needed. He's got, again, king of top speed here at the Velodrome, so he's going to use just enough to hold on. O'Mara making this look pretty good from the front. McClintock has to run at it to try to qualify. It's going to be Carlberg and, whoa! That was close. Not comfortable making the call. My eye tells me McClintock was gaining and might have made it. It will be 25 by a very close margin. McClintock and Carlberg get the official nod as your qualifiers out of the first heat. Andrew O'Mara, the third rider across the line. So close. We will bring up Heat B next. Heat C to the ready area for drawing positions as we can keep our event rolling here. Again, after the Greg's Elite Men Kieran heats, we jump right into the Masters Cat 3 group. Already good racing here in the Kieran during the heats. This is looking very favorable for an exciting event throughout the day today. In the outside lane, that's Ethan Boys, bib number 11. Next door to him is Mario Sandoval for Found Cycling Guild. Andy Baker, Broadmark team in lane 4. Star Trek Racing, Scott Grayson Hawk in lane 3. The Shop, Aaron Young in lane 2. And down in the sprinters lane, Corey Jamieson in the black with the white helmet. Your starters here in Heat B. Two more to advance and join in on the action immediately in the semis, the rest to the reps. And our riders filing into position, as they are compelled to do at the opening moments of this race. They can begin to reconfigure themselves in this race once we've gotten past this point where they are now, essentially. So if there are riders that want to pull up and try to move back in the line, or if somebody wants to push up and try to force a change of position, they are allowed to do so. Position in the initial part of the lap set by the draw before the race even begins. I think this was a little bit more dynamic in terms of who we might see come to the front here. Harder to call for me. I'm looking at number 10 from the shop, our third overall finisher from the Elite Men's Sprints tournament yesterday, in second wheel position. That's going to be certainly someone to watch in the middle of the action here. Ethan Boyd, another member of that track record-setting attempt here yesterday for the Masters Men, all the way at the back of the field, and he's got another speedster right in front of him, so he has a pretty good wheel. So I'm watching 11 and 24's move at the back of the group for sure. So my two areas my eyes are going to be on, we got the rider in white in second, who's already starting to play kind of protective. He's watching the moves behind him, and the back two riders are going to really, I think, determine the way this race plays out. Corey Jamieson from the front, watching and waiting. Still hesitating. Jamieson watching. Here comes that swarm from the back. 11 going down low. 24 trying to find some room. Not able to do so yet. Here goes the move from Aaron Young. The speedster from the shop is off and away, so he'll take the lead spot. Can anyone else come up and around? This power of Jamieson from the front will not be challenged. It looks like Jamieson is going to be able to hold on here. Star Trek Racing making the run at it. And it will be Jamieson, your second rider across the line, number 22. Not quite enough from Grayson Hawk as he made the run at it. But indeed, it will be Aaron Young, the rider from the shop, that finds his way in handedly. The nice move out of turn 2. Heat C, Wright, Gonzalez, Kowalczyk, Swanstrom, and Diertens are coming up on track. Next, your Cat 3, the Master Men. Kieran is coming up next. Heat A to the ready area, please. That'll be McLaughlin, Tomko, Douglas, Grinsell, Pyle, and Girth. Final call for Swanstrom and Diertens, Spirit number 30 and 31. Final call. Some unfortunate no-shows. Lemon Wright in for the shop racing on the outside lane. Down the middle, Dylan Gonzalez for Project Exelon. And finally, down in the sprinters lane is Zach Kowalczyk of Black Lodge Cycling. We'll still take two. One rider to come back into the reps. We'll have a second chance in this thin but still highly contested heat. All right, off we go with this final heat. I will do that. Thanks, Amara. On our way, we go for Heat C. On deck and drawing for position should be Heat A for the Masters Cat 3. Heat A of the Greg's Masters Cat 3 Kieran's. That is McLaughlin, Tomko, Douglas, Grinsell, Pyle, Girth. They come up next. On track now, again, a big toss-up, especially without much of a field. The two riders in second and third position, more of the true sprinting type. But as I said a million times yesterday, never count out Zach Kowalczyk in any sort of competition on the track. So all three, I think, have a place in this Kieran, whether they got to earn it now or in the rep. They're going to be fighting tooth and nail to get into it. Kowalczyk, the rider that draws lane one, so he'll lead the two sprinters behind him. A tough place to be and a tough route to get to in this Kieran today. Gonzalez in the second wheel spot. Lemon right, number 9, the third rider in the lineup as we go into the final lap and a half. Kowalczyk watching between the legs. He's trying to see if the riders want to get this thing going early. Not seeing a lot yet. They're kind of sitting high and waiting for him. Watching each other at 1 to go. Lemon holds on until 21 makes the move. There goes Gonzalez around the corner and down the back straight. A nice sprint from Gonzalez as he lines things up good across the finish line. And looks to be clearing away. It's now Kowalczyk and Lemon right head to head. Lemon will find it. Gonzalez, number 21, your first qualifier across the line for the semis. Lemon right, your second rider across the line, and Kowalczyk and many others will be back again for the rep rides for their second chance to make it in. Moving on into the Greg's Masters Cat 3 Kieran Series. We have, again, 3 heats. Top 2 qualify for the semis. The rest will go to the reps. In lane 6 for Flow Cycling Factory team, Stan Douglas. Next door to him for the Red Kilo team in the black with the white today, David Girth, I believe. Next door to that, Center Cycles, Daniel Tomko in lane 4. For the J. Baker Jr.'s J.C. Pyle in lane 3. Dyna Racing's got Scott Grinsell in lane 2. And in lane 1 for Bike Central Barber Vet team, Steve McLaughlin. The bike is getting the signal to roll and on their way. Whistle sounded, the riders are off for their 4 laps. Bib number 1, the Sharks got the lead spot. Tomko is the 4th rider in this lineup for Center Cycles, was our champion yesterday for the Broadmark Masters Cat 3 Men Sprint Tournament. So let's give the nod to him as well as a favorite here in this Kieran event. Less about that jump to top speed. You're already going to be at speed. I still think Tomko's got something to show here today in the Kieran event. The Shark from the front, always a speedster, going to want to make his way into this one. Also be watching 64 to see how he plays this. David Girth for the Red Kilo team had quite a bit of moves yesterday on the track. We'll see what he can do in the lineup. Only 2 to advance from the heat directly to the semis. Setting up some already pretty dramatic races in the heats, especially for the first 2 heats of our elite men. That was already some great racing in the early goings of the Kieran. Seeing 2 to go. And the pacer will exit on the back straight. If you're just walking in from the park, checking out what we're doing, this is the 2022 Vision Grand Prix. A little bit more casual during the middle of the day, but we bring out all of the big show for the evening. We start at 6 o'clock tonight. The conclusions of all these great races. The beverage garden is open. The food trucks are here, and it's a great event to make your way back for. Here we go. Our first heat for the Masters Cat 3 men gets the bell. Tomko says, yeah, I do have more to show. He's off and away already. 13 feeling speedy. He's trying to drop the field. Making the long run out of it out of turn 3. Making this a very long effort for him in that 600-meter range or so. Looking very quick. Now the question is who's second. It looks like the Shark says, yeah, I know how to race a Kieran. Let's get in this thing. And that's who it'll be. Tomko McLaughlin, first 2 across the line, handedly. Heat B coming up onto the track now to the ready area. Let's have Heat C. Following Heat C, the Bike Works Elite Women International Omnium's first race. The scratch race will be set to go very soon. In lane 6 for the Burnaby Velodrome Club is Uli Mayer. Next door in the all black, it looks like we got Tyler Arnoldi in lane 5. Next door to him in the gray for Dyna Racing, Ken Dong. In the neon for Airtech Racing, that's James Campbell Harris in lane 3. Merrick Gallagher for the Jerry Baker Juniors in lane 2. Woo! All right, and down there in lane number 1, Dalton Thornsberry for Duesville X presented by Jackroot USA. Getting the signal to roll for the pacer. They're on their way. This is now in our second heat for qualifying into the semis round. 2 riders to advance. Let's not forget in that call in the previous heat, I mentioned Tomko's top spot in the sprint tournament yesterday. Your second place finisher, James Campbell Harris, is the 3rd rider in this group. So another top speed effort from him today would be enough to move him on into the semis. Thornsberry from the front looking to mix things up as well. We'll watch number 41's move as he'll be the rider to lead this race unless things mix and change up. Don't forget, number 65, Uli Mayer, was all over the bike yesterday doing some great moves and has plenty of speed to show as well. So our BC competitor in the last spot. Another one to watch here as things get going here in a few more laps. Again, if you're having any sort of curiosity for those that are walking into the park, checking out what we're doing, this race continues throughout the day. These are the qualifying rounds. We do all of the finals, all of the best moments we save for last. We are here until about 9:30 or so tonight. We'll be still racing, but the race starts at 6 this evening. That's when we'll invite you back for the big event, our final session of the 2022 Vision Grand Prix, our main big draw event. We've got riders from out of town that fly in just for this weekend of competition at the track, and we had one heck of a night last night. We're streaming right now on YouTube. If you're not able to make it down, you can find more velodrome.org/live to keep watching the action. Bell's ringing here. 2 at the front will advance. Tyler Arnoldi, number 60, moves from 5th position up to the front. He's going to try to lead this thing out. Here comes Thornberry to respond, the rider that was at the front. Happy to see the front taken over. He'll sit in the slipstream just long enough to restart his sprint. Here comes Uli Mayer, the call from the back. James Campbell-Harris is on his wheel. Top to advance. Campbell-Harris trying to make the swing around. It's Uli Mayer. Campbell-Harris. Oh, I think it's 65. The quick call there. Thornberry was well and away. The sprint for second was good, though. I think Campbell-Harris came across the line third with Uli Mayer, the Burnaby Velodrome Club rider, working his way all the way from the back of the field. Should have found the second place finish by my eye. And that is confirmed as the official result. The rest of the riders still get another chance. As a reminder, we have repechage rounds for the riders to make it into the next round of the tournament here for the Kieran, or the next round of the Kierans, I should say. Here comes Heat C, your final heat for the Craig's Masters Cat 3 Kieran. Our final heat, Heat C, coming on track now. Elite Men rep round has been revised. If you had already looked at the reps, they've been revised. Please confirm the reps for the Elite Men Kieran. Those have been revised. In lane 5 for the Jerry Baker Juniors, David Magidson. Next door in him in the white for the Broadmark team, that's Alex Siegel. Lane 3 for the Burnaby Velodrome Club is Hans Lovelholz, making his presence known today on a Saturday. In the gray, we've got the Dyna Racing team, Eric Waterman in lane 2. And finally in the blue, that's Gene Johnson Cycling Team's Andrew Lynch in lane 1. Pacer gets the signal to be on their way. Amara pulls off to lead our final heat around. If the riders make it into the semis, they're done actually for this session. We will be hosting the semis during tonight's session, so here comes our final heat. That's right, the semis and the final rounds will be held during tonight's session, so the qualifying riders are, if they're only doing the Kieran, they're done. The repechage upcoming. Second chance for those riders in just a few more events here. We're going to bring out the scratch race next for the Bikeworks Elite Women International Omnium. Then we'll work our way back into those rep rides. We've got sprints continuing on as well. The quarterfinal round will be coming up here quick, so a few more qualifying events to work our way through. We'll take a look at the group we have here, setting a new track record in the Flying 200 yesterday, and also part of the record-breaking team sprint effort for the Master Men is Alex Siegel, number 42. Top speed master as well, and certainly a favorite to call here. Hans Lovelholz didn't race yesterday. He's got a fresh set of legs today. He's right in the middle of this field. Certainly plenty of capabilities for that rider to work his way up. Those would be my top 2 just from where I'm at now. But Eric Waterman right in front of Lovelholz in the second position, also great in these events. So the middle of this field's sort of where I'm favoring at this stage in the Kieran. The junior on the back end's got a great wheel. We'll see what he does with it, as Magnusson's going to be all the way at the back of this speedy group. 2 in advance. And the pacer's off the way, and here we go. The race is now to the riders. Andrew Lynch leading this thing out currently, still keeps the pace pretty good. He moves up a little bit. At 1 to go. Still waiting, still waiting. Here comes a little bit of a push from Dyna Racing. There goes Hans Lofelholz, our Burnaby Velodrome Club rider. Like I called out, he's got some fresh legs, and he's got good top speed, and now Alex Siegel pulls away. No surprise to see these two make this kind of maneuver. Away and away they go. Siegel and Lofelholz go 1-2 across the line. Those will be your direct to semi riders. Other three are invited back for the reps. Make sure our riders are off the track and we're good to go as we're going to bring out the International Omnium here in just a moment. All right, track looks good. Up next, to the rail, please. Riders for the Bikeworks International Omnium, our elite women competitors. To the rail. Thanks for the comment on the stream about the Omnium standings. There are some inverted results. We are revising. I have not been announcing them as we had a few errors in our calculations. What we will be sure to do is between sessions 3 and 4, get the most updated numbers and get those clarified. And then as we start session 4, I'll announce where we are with all of our Omniums, kind of get a good place where they are. Off we go in the first of what shall be 4 interesting events here for our elite women. They're competing in an international omnium. Our elite women going for a scratch race as the first event. That's a 20-lap competition. First rider across the line after 20 laps will get the most points to carry forward in the omnium. The international omnium concludes in a big points race during tonight's evening session. The better you do in the first 3 races, the more points you have to start the points race. So though each individual result does matter, it's not necessarily about winning everything. It's about doing as overall as best you can per event. Play it smart and make sure that you can show up big for the points race and secure the victory in that final stage. Currently in the neutral, we'll start them out of turn 4 in our first mass start race today, with this group of elite women. And there is the sound of the whistle, and riders are invited to begin this 20-lap endeavor. The International Omnium on their way. Screen on the infield. If you're an athlete, you can check the screen on field for the updated reps, and the sprint quarterfinal rounds for the elite women are up as well. So if you want to check the screen on the field for those, you can. They're over. The screen is over by the official stand. It's Becca Book pulling up and out of the way for. Looks to be Danny Scoville. She's trying to keep me on my toes wearing a different helmet, but she's got that Rider of the Year jersey on, so I know who that is. A junior who's been at the lead of our Cat 1-2, our open women's field for the majority of this season. brought back a whole host of medals. She was covered and adorned with medals from Junior Nationals this year, as she had quite a great showing there in Trexlertown. And she's also one of our riders to watch, as she's been on the up and up. You can find the program with all the riders to watch, our full breakdown of the program and everything we're doing here, online at velodrome.org/live. The top button on the page, you can click that, and there you go. You got your digital program, breaks down it all. You can read a little bit about some of our riders that we're excited to see here. Learn a little bit more about how the scoring works and all the background. See a little bit more about our fantastic sponsors. Check it out at velodrome.org/live. You can also see the official results as they're posted. The top link on the page will take you right to the folder where we're dropping those. So those of you that are tuning in later and want to see how your riders have did, and maybe in the qualifying round you want to see their official time, or you want to see who qualified out of the heats into the semis with the Kieran, you can do so online. velodrome.org/live, the page to go to. And if you're out there enjoying the stream, thanks for tuning in. We got good viewership again on a Saturday, a little less than yesterday at this time of day, but that's all right. We'll get more people going. If you're here in the park and haven't shared it yet, don't forget you can go to that same link, velodrome.org/live, to pick up the YouTube. Share it with friends and family. Let them know you're here for some afternoon racing, getting ready and excited for the evening. Thanks for tuning in if you are in the stream and watching the action this morning. And if you're enjoying it, don't forget that thumbs up is always helpful. Hit that subscribe button. We're making our progress. We are about 70 subscribers short of hitting our season goal of trying to get to 1,000. We are awfully close. We're seeing incredible growth and following of the Velodrome on our YouTube platform, and it's been fun to watch. We are excited for next year, trying to focus that as our primary platform. So those of you that are watching on YouTube right now, we're going to try to increase the interactivity and monitor that chat channel and have a little bit more fun with you out there, including ways to tip in and get a shout out during the race and other sorts of fun things. So we look forward to some focus and improvement on our platform, and it's been a great year of growth for us. We look forward to celebrating that 1,000 mark soon, as we started the season at around 180, 200 subscribers. So it's been quite the journey for us, and hope to continue to bring this great racing action across the world to everybody. Let them know that we are a great bastion of racing here in the Pacific Northwest. Number 118 starting to dive off the front here of the field, mixing things up. That's Emily McNary of Team Oregon, presented by Rhoda Paint. Gets her moment out in front of the field, gets the name called. This race comes down to the final lap, but on your way there, you've got to figure out how to dial it in and use your strengths as an athlete to pick up a win. That could mean these kinds of efforts just force the field to chase you, trying to make it fast, keep it fast. Is if it goes slow, right? If you just crawled your way all around, it would just come down to the person with the best finish. But that's not necessarily every rider's strength, so still have to find a way to dial up the speed here and there. This International Omnium, in its first event, the scratch race, seeing 12 to go. Now a new reacceleration from the red truck team is number 114 Simonson picks up the pace, and Jenna Lingwood's following the wheel. Diane Snowblin also marking that move a bit, the rider in white. As red truck abandons the effort, most of the field is willing to do so, as they were not ready for that kind of speed just yet to hold on for too long. Catch your breath above the blue line and get ready for the next move. The track's wide open, so we'll see if somebody else wants to re-instigate things, or at 11 to go if we're okay just recovering for a moment. Jessica Sawyer in a new look today, number 101 at the front. In the black and white today, leads the field temporarily. Not pulling hard, though, as the field bunching up behind her. Ten to go, halfway through this scratch race. Couple of efforts to kind of pick up the pace Brought back quickly. Red truck not allowed to make too big of a move as Simonson's been watched. She moves up quickly this time. It'll be Lingwood now at the lead with Becca Book watching her. Still plenty of laps for these attacks to try to either break things apart or try to get away from this field if the timing is right. When the field swings high like this is one of those moments you got to watch who starts to respond and who's reacting to different moves here. That looks to be Sawyer, number 101, that wants to pick up the pace again. Lingwood immediately finds the wheel, though. At 9 to go, we swing high again on the back of Sawyer. They have a long event today, so a bit of conservation in the mind of these riders, too, as they've got another race during this session and 2 more tonight. Lots of laps for the Omnium if you want to be the victor. Here goes Red Truck again, trying to find their position. Holly Simonson on the move. At 8 to go, looks around and sees the lineups there. That's Lingwood and Sawyer again matching pace. Becca Book and Diane Snoblin, your first 5 riders in this lineup. Haven't said their names much either. It's Skylar Espinoza gets up towards the front, number 119. Another one of our riders to watch for Alto Velo Racing. Right behind her in the blue is Hillary Luther. In the blue, bib number 109. Seven to go. Just saw 6 to go. Sawyer at the front is accelerating things. Becca Book trying to maintain this tempo. Only a few laps really remain here if anybody wants to try to break things apart. If things are together, Simonson was very quick in the Kieran yesterday, as was Espinoza, a couple of riders that I saw come to the front in that effort. So if it's a bunch sprint, I'm watching 119, I'm watching 114 to possibly take this first scratch. Number 120, another one. It's been speedy. She can find her lane and her timing. Diane Snoblin. As we slow back down again in these laps ahead of the sprint, definitely favoring some of those riders that placed so well in the Kieran yesterday. We know they've got that top speed dialed in out of the elite women field. Sawyer, who's been consistently near the front, number 101, riding the blue line, and she's got a little bit of a fan club following her move here in the middle of the field. Espinoza up at the top. Down low at 4 to go, number 118 again makes her way up to the front of this ride. Emily McNary. Still starting to kind of push away a little bit. She'll pull up to the blue line, though, as the rest of the field does so. Our rider of the year, Danny Scoville, the local junior, makes her way towards the front as well. She's got that white helmet on up along the rail. She gets covered by the rider in red. This will, at this point, it looks to come down to the bunch sprint. There's just a lap left or so before things could really open up early. They're seeing 3 to go. If the move is to come, it's going to come any second. 3 to go. Simonson controlling at the front, and it's calm. Still holding on to the pace of our red truck rider, following the rail. They respect Simonson's speed, and she is sort of setting the pace as the rest of the field will not pass her wheel at this point. Two to go. Still holding on here. I see Espinoza, Simonson, and Snoblin, some of the names I called earlier that I would say are favorited here to a certain degree if they can get their position and their timing down. Here goes Jessica Sawyer, though. The field sees her, number 101 in the black and the white. I didn't want to call it. She really tries to set things up all the way out of turn 2 with more than a lap remaining. Now the bell's ringing. She's off in the front. 101 makes the big attack. Espinoza, number 119 for Alto Velo, trying to chase her down. Diane Snoblin's on her wheel. Lingwood and Simonson both in that lineup of 4 riders in the pursuit. Here comes Snoblin trying to recover over the right-hand side. Espinoza up out of the saddle trying to hold on to this one, but it's still Snoblin. Snoblin accelerating. She brings 3. Snoblin, Simonson, Lingwood, Espinoza. Right in the corner here to get started for the International Omnium. It looks like Snoblin and Simonson coming side by side. Snoblin to take this one. Simonson second. Espinoza third. Lingwood fourth. Your early attack for Jessica Sawyer. What a move. She still finds top 5 for her efforts. Nice move there for, again, number 101 and an exciting finish in this first event for the International Omnium. The conclusion of this great series will happen during tonight's racing. The Kieran reps for the Greg's Elite Men, Kieran, are coming up next. Heat A is Baker. Oop. Yes, I got this. Baker, Boys, and O'Mara. Heat B, Hauk, Sandoval, and Culp. Heat C, Kaiser, Kovalchuk, Rakness. Stand by. I have the most up-to-date list. I can't refresh it any more times. Baker, Boys, and O'Mara show us Heat A. Top 2 advancing, so the margin's pretty thin here. It's 2 riders out of the 3 of each of these heats get to ride again. It's only 1 that gets eliminated at this stage. Our first heat, Baker, Boys, and O'Mara. Perhaps there's a start list or an extra one that may be, I know there's a revision that had to happen during the rep, so maybe there's a random extra one people have pulled up. Our most up-to-date is Heat A, Baker, Boys, O'Mara. Heat B, Hauk, Sandoval, Culp. Heat C, Kaiser, Kovalchuk, Rakness. As earlier mentioned, there is a revision to the earlier posted reps. So I will try to keep us up to date on the most accurate version I have. Following the Kieran reps for the Elite Men, the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints come back with the quarterfinal rounds. After that, we go back to the Greg's Masters Cat 3 Kieran reps. In lane 3 is Andrew O'Mara is wearing the all-black kit, bib number 16. Down the middle, that's Annie Baker for the Broadmark Realty Team, bib 4. And Ethan Boys, number 11. Will make up lane 1. And the pacer's on its way. And off we go with our first of 3 repechage rides. This is the second chance for these riders. Most of our starters will find their way into the semis. 1 is going to be eliminated here per heat. So a total of 3 will be out of the Kieran at this stage. The semi round to determine the top and the bottom half of the remaining riders will happen during tonight's program. And then, of course, the exciting conclusion that you won't want to miss. The ride in that major final to find the top 6 riders also will be happening during tonight's 6 p.m. race program. Ethan Boys at the front of the field, number 11, trying to be an arrow as he can in the opening laps. The pacer's job, of course, to gradually accelerate the field and try to do most of the work for them of getting up to speed, while the rest of the riders benefit from the draft. Our e-bike solution and our race sponsor here, Greg's, of course, helping us pick up the red e-bike a few years back. It's been a lot of help for us here at the track as we had some trouble with the, no surprise, it's always about insurance, right? Riding the moto was a bit tricky for us here at our velodrome. So again, a big shout out to Greg's Cycles for their support and for the sponsoring the weekend of Kieran Racing. And the pacer's going to pull off here. We are going to eliminate 1 rider. Boys from the front, looking between the legs, a common look from the lead rider. He's watching for the speed from behind, looking for anybody to pull up and around him. The clear sign that they're on the move. At 1 to go. Still not seeing much in that view as he looks around the right. He'll hold the position. Number 4 waiting as well. Starts to feel the pressure. 4 gets out of the saddle. Everybody's starting to pick up the pace now. Down the back straight, Baker starting to overtake. Boys from the sprinters lane still in position. Andrew O'Mara and Black's got to find a move around the outside. He was so close to making it in earlier, may not be able to find it this time. It's going to be Baker and Boys advancing to the semis. Heat B coming up next on deck, of course, Heat C for the rep rides. 2 more heats for the Greg's Elite Men, Kieran reps. Lane 3, Mario Sandoval for the Found Cycling Guild. Lane 2, the middle rider for Star Trek Racing, Grayson Hauk. And finally, for Digital Commerce Bank, that's Emmett Culp in lane number 1. Our repechage round, Heat B. 2 to advance to the semi round. 1 rider out. Getting the signal to roll. Here comes the pacer. Two riders make it out of the small heat of 3 into the semifinal round. the Kieran here for the GP. The goal is to get competitive fields of 6, our major final. And the minor finals being held tonight. Currently in our qualifying session, really for the finals that happen during the evening. The Bike Works Elite Women International Omnium also going on during this session. Their first 2 races. They'll conclude with the 3rd and 4th race as well during the evening session. So come back for all the fun. The beverage garden opens up. We got Post Stock Brewing, Locust Ciders, San Juan Seltzer will be pouring here tonight. Well, 3 delicious food trucks tonight. It looks like we got Jessica's Unique Bites coming back, 314 Pie, and Issaquah Ice Cream Trike. So you can get your food and your sweet tooth needs all taken care of this evening. Of course, our friends from Vision will be here giving away some goodies, and the tent will open back up so you can peruse all the fastest gear in cycling. Sandra Wright Sutherland's hanging out with us today. I think she's already here, actually, hanging out with her one-of-a-kind artwork, all based on photos she's taken of the sport. You can only find it here at the track today. There's no storefront for her work, so come and visit her if you're here today. Just come on over to the grandstands and check out what she's got. We are in the effort here for these 3 riders, so we'll go back and talk about the race as the bell's ringing with 1 to go. Emmett Culp on the lead of the effort now, number 38, 17. Holding on well, glued to that wheel. Sandoval, the 3rd rider in the group. Time to go as Sandoval's going to try and hold down the riders as he makes the move around. Culp's starting to be swarmed by the other 2. Sandoval and Hawk make it across the line going 1-2. They'll advance into the semi-round. Heat C coming up next. Kaiser, Kowalczyk, and Ragnes. On deck, the quarterfinal round of the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. First riders up will be Shelberg and Sawyer. In lane 3 for the J-Baker Juniors, Henry Kaiser. Black Lodge Cycling in lane 2 has got Zach Kowalczyk. Lane 1, Ben Ragnes in the black and gray, lined up to compete in our final repechage ride today for the elite men. 2 qualify. 1 will be done with the Kieran today after this ride. Ben Ragnes, number 45, compelled to take that first spot. Kowalczyk lining in second. Another one of our junior riders, the Laser, Henry Kaiser, showing up here today for Kieran Racing, will be the 3rd rider. Should throw it out there too. Today is a great day to come out to the track. If you're a young rider, you can get out on the track for free during the Kiddie Kilo during tonight's race. Kiddie Kilo registration will be open during the race event. You can come on over anytime within the hour before and in the early goings of the event, so between about 5 to maybe 6:15 or so, and get signed up for the fun and free lap around the track. You just need a helmet and some form of bike, trike, training wheels, even scooters we have out here. So push bikes welcome as well. So young riders can get a little bit of fun out here and be a part of the event. Adult gate is $5. Kids are free at the gate. Once they're in here, you get to be a part of all the fun and all the action. Our annual Grand Prix back again. It's been away for a couple years, so those of you locals that are checking this out, this is an annual event for us. It changes its exact timing of the year based on some other things like when nationals are and whatnot, but right around late July, early August. Keep yourself posted on velodrome.org or on our socials at JB Velodrome for updates about when the GP will be. And you don't want to miss this race, as it is always a great time to come out and enjoy this incredibly unique facility we have here in the Pacific Northwest. The Velodrome is, again, it's one of a kind in our region. There's very few remaining of our facilities, and here we are into the last chance effort for these three riders. One to go. Kovalchuk on the lead of the lap. The Laser sits in the middle. Rackness been away from the Velodrome for a while, right in number 45, but he's made his appearance here this weekend to compete in some of our sprint events. Kovalchuk, the savvy speedster at the front, always all over the bike and everywhere here at the GP. He's been a storied champion in so many different places. He'll make his way into this Kieran. Kaiser just trying to hold on for a little bit longer. It will be Kaiser, number 18, to advance into the semis. Time to get our positions drawn for the quarterfinal here in the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. We're going to bring our heats over for drawing for position heat. Our first heat, Shelberg and Sawyer. They're followed by Fox and Ostreich, and then finally Snoblin, Scoville for the third heat, and heat 4 is Simonson and Lawrence. Now calling Emily Shelberg, Jessica Sawyer up for the first heat, and on deck Lizanne Fox and Elise Ostreich are next two. All right, we're in a bit of conference here for just a moment. Looks like one of our riders in this first heat, so yeah, we'll be pausing for just a moment. I'll give my voice a break. It's a long day. We'll take you off the mic for just a little bit here, as we'll continue on shortly with the sprint quarterfinal round coming up here in a bit for the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. Yeah, how about give a weather update, since that's been a point of conversation recently on the live chat. I see we are, I think, pretty comfortable today. The forecast doesn't show any precipitation. We've got consistent cloud cover around us. There is a little bit of gray floating overhead, but everything looking okay so far. Forecast again looks mostly favorable, and we'll be hitting probably the mid 70s throughout the afternoon, maybe getting ducking close to 80 at the highest point. Bringing out a holder here. Looks like we got our 2 riders coming up. All right, we're going to be resuming here in the quarterfinal round. The Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. First heat in the quarterfinals is Emily Shelberg, number 102 in the outside with the white helmet. Next door in the black helmet, number 101, is Jessica Sawyer. Team I am, I can, I will, I do, number 102. Shelberg with the fastest time coming out of the qualifiers. Qualify well, it gives you favorable matchups as she has the advantage in this first matchup just based on top speed alone for sure, as measured by that flying 200 meter. Jessica Sawyer, number 101, will try to find a way to upset it. On deck, our second heat is Lisanne Fox, Annalise Ostreich. Those riders will be ready to start here soon. The sprints is an ongoing tournament here. We've got ourselves into this quarterfinal round. Riders need to continue to do well to advance favorably into the semifinal round. And of course, the final series for these riders will be held during the evening session where we'll go into the best of 3 format. Right now, these are all best of 1 rides. You get 1 chance and 1 chance alone to place well. Beat your head-to-head opponent. At 1 to go, Shelberg at the blue line. Sawyer now trying to find the rear wheel. Shelberg just controlling the pace from the front. And she'll show us again that top speed that she's got from the qualifier as she starts to pull away from Sawyer around turn 4. Right at 102. Heat 2 coming on track. Heat 3 is Diane Snoblin and Danny Scoville on deck. That's rider 111, Annalise Ostreich for the Shop Racing in lane 1. Now you're getting a look at Lisanne Fox, our rider for St. George. The Canadian decorated champion, product of Sydney, taking on our Atlanta rider from the Shop Racing. Annalise. It's Lisanne Fox with the second fastest qualifying time coming out of the 200 meters. So 107 has that advantage to her. And it'll be Annalise looking to do the upset here, the rider in front. Slow goings in the first lap for most sprint matchups. These sprints are all about timing and top speed, and if you were to go top speed from the line, whoever's in second has all the advantage, generally speaking, as long as you can get on that wheel and be in the draft. So that's not usually the recipe for success. Shorten the track, find your position that you want to be for the sprint moment, and ahead of that, you can play a little bit of these mind games, a little bit of positioning games. Both riders choosing the rail here. Favorable for the sprinters as they get that left-hand turn acceleration. If you turn the wheel left, down the hill you go. Makes it much easier to get up to top speed. So generally speaking, the higher on the track, the more valuable that positioning is. The way you counter that, of course, is you come up alongside your opponent and pin them against the rail. Don't give them that left-hand turn. Lisanne giving all the room right now. to rider 111 up front. Zonalisa's got the lead spot still, and she's watching over the left-hand shoulder, knowing that's where the attack would come from. Abandoning high ground a little bit here, starting to take the low ground for a moment, maybe trying to force some sort of reaction from Lizanne. Nothing coming yet. She moves a bit higher, trying to give herself as much of that potential energy on the hill as she can. And down the flat we go. This is just the run of the rear wheel. Overtaking through the turn, Lizanne Fox trying to find this one and close it down. It will be Lizanne. 107 with the victory here. Heat 3 coming on track. Heat 4 is Holly Simonson, Stephanie Lawrence on deck. Following the quarterfinal round, we've got 2 more heats to go. We will go into the Greg's Masters Cat 3 Kieran reps. Those on the stream getting a close-up look. That's Danny Scoville getting ready to go for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s riding the racing today in the Rider of the Year kit. And next door in the white for the Burnaby Velodrome Club, Diane Snoblin, number 120. One ride only to make it into the semis. This best of one during the quarterfinal round, and this is again a junior wearing our local Rider of the Year jersey, taking on our British Columbia competitor, Diane Snoblin, who placed 3rd overall out of the qualifiers. Third fastest takes on 6th fastest out of the qualifiers, so still a pretty strong advantage for Snoblin in top speed, but it gets a little closer at this point. We could ask for the youngins to not be hanging under or over the railing. Appreciate that. Thank you. Bells ring in for the 2 riders on track as Scoville has maintained front position all the way around the velodrome. Snoblin happy to be in second wheel position as they both now are at the blue line. Both lanes are available, but no one's really going to want to take the high lane here. And Scoville will slide down to the sprinter's lane. Snoblin sitting second. This is a classic run at the wheel and overtake as Snoblin with the better top speed should be able to find it. She rounds the corner, able to apply that sprinting speed. Snoblin to advance. Final heat coming up, Simonson and Lawrence. Before we go to the Greg's Masters Cat 3 Kieran, rep round for the Masters and the Cat 3 and the Kierans. Number 114, Simonson in the red in lane 1 with the black helmet. In the white helmet next door in the black and blue for Star Trek Racing. Number 112, Stephanie Lawrence. Our final heat. These women trying to work their way into the semifinal round. So far, Emily Shelberg, Lizanne Fox, and Diane Snoblin are waiting to see who this 4th rider will be. By the timings out of the qualifiers, the tightest matchup so far. Simonson showing us all what she has on offer yesterday during the Kieran. As our Kieran champ, the rider in red placing just barely above Stephanie Lawrence here today, the rider of Star Trek Racing. It should be, I think, a very hotly contested and truly a match sprint between these two. Riders riding awfully close to each other. Positioning as 112 is trying to push down a little bit. Red truck holding her up, pinning against the rail. Coming down into the hill. Off into the flat they go. Red truck still holding position at the front of Simonson. Keep Star Trek high. Another whip down. That's not going to do much, though, as she's just going to have to accelerate to the rear wheel. Try to slingshot onto the home straight. Ooh, Star Trek Racing makes the second run at it. 112, Stephanie Lawrence. The Greggs, Masters Cat 3, Kieran's return. We're into the reps. Top three of the two heats are advancing for these rep rides. First heat of Girth, Magidson, Arnoldi, Dong, Pyle. Second heat, Campbell, Harris, Waterman, Grinsell, Gallagher, Lynch, and Douglas. After the Kieran reps, the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints will return for their semifinal rides, leaving only the best of three finals for tonight. And following the semifinal round, it's the final race of this session. We're going to bring out the International Omnium for the Bikeworks Elite Women. It'll be the tempo race in their second ride of the event. Out in lane 5, that's David Magidson of the Jerry Baker Juniors in the all black with the black helmet. Tyler Arnoldi, number 60. David Girth in the black with the turquoise helmet, riding in lane 3 for the Jerry Baker Juniors. Next door to him, JC Pyle in lane 2. And down in lane number 1, you got Ken Dong riding for Dyna Racing. Three racers will advance to the next round. Pacer on its way. The repechage all about second chances. Didn't make it in the first attempt. You get another. 3 riders from each of these 2 heats will advance to continue on in the Greggs Masters Cat 3 men. Kieran's. Whistle sounding and the race now underway. 4 laps. Want to learn more about our facility? If you have some questions or you're curious about what we do here on a normal afternoon day during the summer months, or just want to check out our race schedule, learn a little bit more about the programs we offer, don't forget to visit the website, velodrome.org, the home of everything to do with Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. Follow us on social media at JB Velodrome. We're on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook. Follow for updates. We share information and updates about our race programs, news about our riders, results from nationals, all those sorts of things you can find through those channels. If you're looking to get into the sport and want to start learning about racing a track bike or just coming out here and learning more about the facility, maybe want to get out here, we have education programs available as well, including try the track classes, short, fun opportunities to get out here with our staff and learn a little bit about racing on a fixed gear bike. You can sign up for those classes as well through the website, velodrome.org, the home of the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. At 2 to go, we'll lose the pacer on the back straight, and then it's Ken Dong, number 52, at the lead. He'll be in control of the pace. JC Pyle in the second wheel spot. Here comes David Girth trying to reposition things a little bit. We'll see. Ken looks over his shoulder and sees David charging. 3 riders to move up. 2 will be done with the Kierans after this race. Already starting to bunch up pretty tight in turn 4. 1 to go. Girth up and out of the saddle. Trying to take the sprinter's lane at the front of the race. Tyler Arnoldi flanking him. Making the long effort here. David Girth looks like he's going to be able to control the pace down the back straight for a while. Tyler Arnoldi on the second effort now will take over at the lead. Here come the juniors, Magidson and Pyle. In a line, trying to overtake David around turn 4. It's Tyler, David Magidson, JC Pyle. We'll continue on in the Kierans today. Out in lane 6 for Dyna Racing, that's Scott Grinsell, lined up on the outside in the gray. Next door to him, Stan Douglas, Flow Cycling Factory team in lane 5. We got the blue of Andrew Lynch racing for Gene Johnson Cycling in lane 4. In the black and blue of the Jerry Baker Juniors, Merrick Gallagher in lane 3. The neon green and blue, Aerotech Racing's got James Campbell Harris in lane 2. And then finally in lane 1, also for Dyna Racing in the gray, that's Eric Waterman. And the pacer on the way. 3 more athletes to find their way into the next round of the Kierans. 3 advance and 3 are done. I'm going, if I had to pick the half of the field here that's going to be advancing it, probably, I'm looking at the front 3. Has a pretty good shot here. Waterman and James Campbell Harris both, I think, could find a home in that Kieran and look good. Although, never count out Scott Grinsell all the way at the back. He could find a way to mix things up as well. Let's see which one of our, out of the 6, which 3 can make their way into the next round of the Kierans. Our pacer bringing them up to speed for another lap and a half here. And then off and away to see how this final repechage ride turns out. We do go into the semifinals for the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints following this ride. The first up in the semifinal round is Shelberg and Lawrence. They're followed by Heat 2, Lizanne Fox and Diane Snoblin. Bit of movement, middle back of the group as things starting to already reconfigure as the pacer pulls out of the way. Our riders will get the bell and the 1 to go mark as they round the corner, hitting the home straight. It's Eric Waterman watching and controlling from the front, looking over the right shoulder, waiting for some sort of reaction here from the rest of the field. Starting to push forward, not in full speed yet. Stan Douglas, number 55, along the blue line, tries to push forward from the back half. Campbell Harris down the sprinter's lane, trying to find an opening. He might have one now as Waterman accelerates things and opens it up from the front. Waterman trying to find his way into this Kieran from the front of the field. The three I mentioned at the front. Campbell Harris finds it here, and Grinsell with the acceleration all the way from the back. I think will be your third rider unofficially. It's Waterman and Campbell Harris in for sure from the front. I think that move from Grinsell might have been enough. Confirming it is Grinsell, your third rider across the line, will be advancing into the semifinal round. Coming up now, back into the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints. Emily Shelberg, Stephanie Lawrence, your first two up on the track, followed by Lizanne Fox and Diane Snoblin. One ride in the semifinal round. One chance to decide who's going for the ride for first and second and who will be going to the ride for third and fourth. An important moment here as our top four have been sorted out in the Elite Women's competition for the sprints. This will determine which best of three series they'll race in during tonight's program. So the final qualifying moment for these riders coming up. Following the Broadmark Elite Women's Sprints, our final race for this noon session, the Bikeworks Elite Women International Omnium Tempo Race. After that, we will be taking a pause of the action, all taking a breather, a little bit of time away from the microphone, the stream will shut down, all that fun stuff. We're going to take a break, come back for racing at 6 o'clock. So a couple more things to go here, and then we'll be closing down for a little bit before tonight's exciting conclusion. You got to look there at the rail was number 102. Our fastest qualifier today for the Elite Women, Emily Shelberg. She takes the back position behind her challenger of Star Track Racing, Stephanie Lawrence. Can't make it tonight to watch the racing, or you're here now and want to share what you're seeing with other folks, they can watch all the racing action on our website, or our YouTube channel, pardon me, which you can get through the website, velodrome.org/live. Pick up the live stream now and share it with friends and family. Hit that subscribe button, a thumbs up. It helps us spread the word on our charge to 1,000 subscribers. Our goal so close, right around the corner for us here at the Velodrome. Very excited about the progress we've made there, and of course, the progress we've made on this 2022 racing season. It's been a wonderful season, and this really one of our main culminating events, the Vision Grand Prix, going on this weekend. Bell ringing from down the whole home straight here. Two of our riders to watch in the program, Emily Shelberg, the elite U.S. national medalist, the Masters national champion in track cycling, a decorated rider. Absolutely the top speed in the qualifying round was rider number 102. Her challenger, Stephanie Lawrence, a 2021 Elite Woman Team Pursuit national champion, second in the collegiate women individual sprints in 2022. A young rider in the up-and-coming number 112 for Star Trek. So a great match here in the semi-rounds. Favorites coming into the sprint, and they find themselves here in this head-to-head match just to figure out who's going to be racing for first and second, who's going to be going for the ride for third and fourth. Shelberg making the run at the rear wheel now as Star Trek controlling the front. Shelberg coming up alongside. Here comes the second effort from the champ around the outside. Looks like she's got the acceleration needed. It'll be Shelberg, 102, showing her stuff here in this very important semifinal round. We'll see her again tonight in the ride for first and second place. Stephanie Lawrence isn't done yet. She'll have more opportunities tonight as well, racing for third and fourth place. And up next, our second heat, Liz Ann Fox, Diane Snoblin coming to the line. We follow Liz Ann Fox up to the line. Rider number 107, St. George, cycling in the white and red. Next door to her in the white and black kit, Burnaby Velodrome Club, Diane Snoblin. Lizanne Fox, number 107, a two-time Canadian National Kieran champion, three-time Australian penny farthing champion. Yeah, the penny farthing. 47-inch equivalent on the track. It's a tiny gear. It's fantastic. Lizanne always makes a trip out here because she knows the crowds are so good for our evening sessions, and we have a fun environment here. So if you are out here during our noon session just checking it out and you happen to have an open evening, haven't ever been out to the track, what a night to come out and check it out. We'll be here starting at 6 o'clock with the conclusions of all that racing going on now, and that's where we get to make all the noise and have all the fun. Lizanne, the rider in the white and red, a product of Sydney, Canadian national champion. Running at Diane Snoblin, our British Columbia competitor. Burnaby Velodrome Club to the north. She calls that home. Both of these riders with great top speed. Chef by day and a racer by night is Diane Snoblin. Oh, caught a little bit as she's looking around, waiting for something to happen. Lizanne says, how about this? Just runs at her and opens this thing wide open. There is not much coming back from that one. Fox gives the signal. She knows she's got the nod to advance to the ride for first and second. It'll be a great series between Shelberg and Fox later today for first and second. Diane Snoblin will be taking on Stephanie Lawrence during tonight's program for third and fourth overall. Both series should be fun and exciting to watch. We look forward to that. Yeah, we're going to check in with the rider that just finished here. She's signed up for both the International Omnium and the sprints. We're going to see if she needs a change of gear or anything like that. But on deck to start next will be the Bikeworks Elite Women International Omnium Tempo Race. I will call you in order of your points.
Carl, they're not doing 51.
All right, the rider electing to not take any rest here. I think they're ready, so we will call them up. In this order, your leader with 40 points at the Burnaby Velodrome Club is Diane Snoblin with 38 in second for the Red Truck Racing presented by Mosaic Homes. Holly Simonson in third with 36, racing for Alto Velo Racing. It's Skylar Espinoza. In fourth for Point S. Nokian with 34, Jenna Lingwood. And your fifth rider with 32 points, Jessica Sawyer. After that, Hillary Luther with 30, Jennifer Girth, 28, Danny Scoville, 26. Kelly Please, 24. Becca Book, 22. Ellie McNary with 20. Lucy Gilchrist, 18 points. Anna Linda Lingwood with 16. All riders, please, to the rail for your second race, the tempo. All riders currently in the neutral for this tempo race. The international tempo is a few laps opening of no points going out to anybody. It's going to be 4 laps where there's no scoring happening. There'll be a bell from our laps card folks here on the home straight. You'll hear a bell ringing to let the field and all of us know that point scoring begins on the next lap. The first rider every lap from there on out gets 1 point. Rider with the most number of points will win the tempo, and most importantly, get more points to carry forward towards that big conclusion of the points race tonight for the Omnium. This International Omnium format, of course, is a additive event. You want to do well. You want to stay competitive throughout multiple races to set yourself up as best as possible to be in the race when you start the final race tonight. The points race to conclude the International Omnium will be one of the many reasons to stick around through the day and keep watching the racing here at the Grand Prix. Coming into this race, it's bib number 120 in the white, your winner of the scratch race. Diane Snoblin leading the field in this International Omnium. The tempo will favor a different style of rider, though, so look to see some new names trying to take that top spot coming out of the tempo. Knocking on the door, Simonson, Espinoza, Lingwood, and Sawyer, your top 5. So Simonson for Red Truck Racing has been doing well this weekend. Number 114, another rider to keep your eye on. This tempo, again, really about getting away from the field. Great way to secure points in a race like this is to have that solo effort off the front, some sort of breakaway effort. A great way to guarantee you've got some points. And really in a race like this, there's not many laps with points. You only need a few to guarantee a top spot, and that's good enough. If you can just be top 3, top 4, top 5 area and not have to sprint at the end to break any of those ties, that's a good place to be. Linda Lingwood at the front for the Greg's Racing team. After her quick effort, the field resets. They know the points aren't coming out yet, so no early effort coming from any of the leaders wanting to shake things up. Saving their effort for when the points are coming. This will be our final competitive event here during this session. So following the tempo race, we'll be shutting down for a little bit. Riders are invited to keep their gear here. We'll have some folks around at all times to kind of secure the track and make sure nobody's coming in and out. Racing to resume at 6. Bell means next lap, a point a lap from here on out. First rider across the line gets a point. 11 to go, the bell's ringing. Next time around, we start with the first rider to pick up a point. Let's see who wants to take the lead in this tempo, as this will encourage the first big acceleration of the field besides that attack from Melinda a few laps back. That's Shadow Elite racer Becca Book trying to find her way at the blue line. Diane Snoblin will challenge, though. Snoblin, your current leader in the Omnium, finds the first point, number 120. He looks to come across the line first. And it doesn't pay to be second in the tempo here. The International Tempo only awards that first rider that valuable single point. Snoblin, your early leader. Espinoza makes the run in the second lane, number 119. She's third in the Omnium right now, so trying to stay active there. Your top three are getting involved. Simonson wanted it, the rider in red at the front of that lineup. Espinoza, a sneaky move around the side. Another one of our top points riders, Jenna Lingwood, now sits on the front of the field. Watching the field not really take any advantage here. They're not coming for her yet, so she sits on the front. Might be able to find an easy point. None of the points are easy in a tempo, though. She'll get out of the saddle to pick up one for herself. Jenna for her first point. Three riders with 1 point apiece is Espinoza, Snoblin, and Lingwood. We have a tie at the top of the tempo as it stands now. Riders pick up points after this event that applies to the International Omnium overall standings they're going to carry forward. It really pays just to get a point here. So we'll see who's going to find the next single point. Might be Sawyer making a run at it. Simonson from the front. Ooh, another sprint for it. It's going to be Sawyer this time, 101. A rider for Red Truck snubbed again at the line, this time by Sawyer, number 101, who may try to carry this momentum a little bit. She's looking around trying to make the calculation. Might be the first rider to double down and give herself 2 points. Looks like she will be able to do so as the field letting her roll with this one a little bit. She comes into this event with plenty of points, but not in the top 3 spots. So a good move here for Sawyer as she starts to pull away from the field a bit. 6 to go, her second point. Number 119 is Espinoza, starts to try to encourage the field to go get back Jessica quickly and maybe put herself in position to challenge for a point next lap. Espinoza catches, brings Snoblin with her. One of these two riders will be tied for the lead. Espinoza will be the rider to do so. Number 119 finds her second. Now in a tie with 101, both with 2 points apiece. Diane Snoblin joins in on this effort to catch. Didn't get a point here, though. And now as the field getting a little anxious, Hillary Luther wants to go catch this thing, the rider in blue. 3 riders getting caught and going down the lap. Another effort here for a point. Espinoza up and out of the saddle. We'll get it. 119 moves up to 3 points. Alone in the lead. Espinoza, your leader with 3 points. Jessica Sawyer with 2. Though starting to fall off the pace of the field. He is currently sitting in second. Diane Snoblin, Jenna Lingwood with 1 point apiece are tied for third. Hillary Luther has found herself off the front. At 3 to go, she'll find her first point of this event. She's been living in the back of the van, traveling from velodrome to velodrome, competing, and she graces us with her presence here this weekend as Hillary Luther, always a speedster on the velodrome, finds her call out here at the front of the field. There's a few laps remaining. She'll join in that now in the top 5 range just by picking up a single point. Riders without a single point, of course, will be positioned based on their final sprint. So a lot of riders with 0 points will still need to sprint on the final lap to sort their finishing order. Oh, good sprint for a point here. Red Truck again getting snubbed at the line. Trying so hard in the second lane, but it's going to be Jenna Lingwood. Simonson still with 0. All this effort at the front, not able to get to the line ahead of any of these competitors. It's just been so close on 3 different efforts. Lingwood now with 2. joins Sawyer for a tie for second place now. Espinoza alone with 3 in first. The bell lap incoming. Snowblin starting to ramp things up around the outside. She might have a big effort here. With 1 to go, she'll find a point. 1 to go. Jennifer Girth of the Fluvox Crit Nasty team is leading the field. That's number 117 with the red helmet. Snowblin makes a nice run at it and should just try to carry this momentum and see if she can find one more point. But your leader in the points, Espinoza, trying to jump out of this group and find the final point instead. Here comes Skylar around turn 4. She looks to be cleaning this race up nicely and will be the winner of the tempo. Skylar with another point, number 119. Our Alto Velo competitor wraps up the tempo, and everybody will exit on the back straight, as that is the conclusion of that one. Sprints here still matter for the sorting the order, so our riders that have 0 points still doing some work to sort out their finishing order here. And with that, the race is finished. Everybody's across the line. Ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. Whether you walked into the park to check out what we're doing here, no more racing for a little bit. We're going to be back at 6 o'clock, though. And that's where the big payoff really comes in. Show up early, find a spot along the rail, find a spot in the beverage garden. Food trucks will be here. We'll have burgers. We've got some delicious meat pies and vegetarian options also, I should mention. And of course, the Issaquah ice cream trike, so we got the sweet tooth covered as well. Vision will be here giving out some goodies. We've got great racing in store. We're going to be concluding that exciting Elite Women's Sprints tournament. The Kieran for the men is looking pretty good too. We've got the Elite Men and the Masters Cat 3 men. Kieran Finals, during tonight's program. Look forward to more of it. That's going to be coming at 6 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in again. We appreciate you being here. We'll take some time away. Can't wait for more racing here shortly at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.